Hi, looking good today.
Oh, thank you. So are you?
Yeah, thank you. So before the titles, before the businesses, who was Vikas Agarwal? Before we start, I know your tendency is to talk right away about business, but can we please start with the childhood, please?
Oh, yes. I think I was a very lucky child. In terms, I had all the privileges that any child would want to have. We never had a scarcity for stuff, even though I don't know whether I knew the word scarcity back then. But whatever a child would normally want, we always had it. So childhood was not too bad. Of course, there could be better things that one could afford looking back in hindsight. But the one thing that I distinctly remember is I was very active in almost everything. So and so that
Like?
So my dad had given me the title Jack of all trades, master of none. I would play the keyboard on my own.
Oh, okay. That's
I
nice.
wanted to learn drums. I did go to some classes. I started learning dancing on my own. In fact, at a later level in college, I choreographed my own song, and then we had two dancers. We did our own practice, and we won the title as well.
Oh, well done.
I used to play almost all sports:
Okay.
football, cricket, hockey, badminton,
Right.
snooker, table tennis.
Wow.
At different stages, of course. So there will be 3 years of time when I do only badminton, and then 2 years later it will be only table tennis, and so on and so forth. But that was the problem. My mind was constantly jumping from things to things,
Okay.
which also made it difficult for me to be a genius at anything.
Okay.
Because you're like jack of all trades. You're reasonably good at most things, but not best at anything.
Okay. Right.
So that was childhood while growing up, just like any other child. Had access to stuff that we wanted, and good circle of friends. We were blessed not to have internet.
Okay.
We were blessed not to have the cable TV, as we used to call it then,
Right.
which is all the other channels other than Doordarshan.
Okay.
Coming from a traditional middle class background, my dad was very sure or very certain that we wanted to get good marks from me in 10th and 12th, and hence we didn't have this cable TV till I passed out of 12th standard.
Okay.
Which means to minimize distractions.
Okay.
And fortunately, I also got into the habit of reading a lot when I was in school.
Okay.
So I was probably among the two students of my batch whose library book or library ledger in the school was like done. It's like filled up. I used to read a book a day almost. And those times you used to read books like Enid Blyton, Secret Seven, all those kind of stuff, Agatha Christie. But yes, I did develop a reading habit very early in life, about 5th standard, 6th standard.
Okay.
And I think that kind of really helps me now because you get access to a lot of information, whether it's fiction, non-fiction, that is really besides the point. But that was kind of my balanced childhood, as I would like to call it,
Okay.
till about, say, 12th, if that is called childhood.
Right. And so when you talk about your parents, were they in business as well?
Yeah, so my father, as my title goes, Vikas Agarwal, he came to Kerala in 1971.
71. Okay.
And he was working with a company which used to be involved with setting up offices across India.
Yeah.
And he was very good at structure, I assume. And that's why the company used to, ask him to go around. And finally, they were in the rubber business,
Okay.
natural rubber. And that's why we had to come to the base, which is Kerala.
Okay.
And he was in Kottayam till about 78.
Oh, okay.
And then when he moved to Cochin, he started to decide to start his own business. And that is how my childhood was in Cochin, where I was born and raised.
Okay. So second generation then.
Yes,
Okay.
second generation.
Wow. And saying all that, you were an avid reader. So you used to read a lot, and that would have probably liked to dream a lot as well, right? So how were you as a child? Were you like thinking a lot about the future, or were you just looking for great moments as a child, or did you think that, okay, I want to change the world or something of that sort?
Oh no, nothing of that sort. I don't think any child actually, maybe some, I don't know, but not me.
Yeah.
I was just living the moment. I just wanted to do the best at what I was doing at that time. And one thing again which stood out as far as now I remember is I knew my limitations as well. So I knew that I was not the best, say, table tennis player. But that's okay. I was accepting that with grace. and yet it did not stop me from playing the game that I wanted to play.
Okay.
But yes, I knew I was a very good student. I used to be class topper right from first standard till 12th standard.
Okay. Yes.
But it never felt like a pressure,
Okay.
The pressure was on others, obviously,
Okay.
to beat me.
Okay.
So it was a given that I would excel in studies and academics.
Okay.
But that also brought about a certain level of complacency,
Okay.
wherein I knew that with say X amount of percentage of effort, I can get say 90-95%. Then why do the rest of the hard work?
Okay.
And that my parents till date also tell me, my mother still tell me that if you could have worked hard, you probably would have got into IIMs and Stanfords of the world and all.
Okay.
Which is probably some little degree of regret that I have, but then life's good.
Okay. So imagine like you didn't think about so much into the future, but how did you reward yourself then? Or like how did you think like, okay, if I got this at that point of time, it would be a big thing for me. It would be a major milestone. So kids do think, like when you're young, you probably when you start running, I think you want a cycle, or you want a toy, or you want something that somebody else has. Did you have any such wishes?
I don't know. I don't think so, because I was not very materialistic then and now also.
Okay.
I enjoy life. I enjoyed the good luxuries of life, but I was not into that frame of mind where I said I'll give myself something if I do something.
Okay.
Because I used to do things to the best of my capability nonetheless.
Okay.
I didn't need an external motivation or a validation to do things that I used to do. It was,
Okay.
I think, very inbuilt, very in-house, if you can call it that way,
Okay.
where I knew I had to do it and I just did it. That's it.
Okay. When we were looking at you finally deciding that you'll have to work with people and you'll have to get things moving, the first option naturally would be to follow your family business and to join with it. And I'm sure you would have had your own plans. And so was it organically the next thing that you did, that you just ended up joining your family business?
So that's the setback story of my life, if you were to call it that way, because I got into IIM Calicut's interview round after giving my CAT exams, CAT exams,
Okay.
and I got into multiple other institutes as well. But unfortunately, fortunately, I didn't want to go to Calicut because IIM Calicut had just started, but then, so I decided to go to Narsimochi, which is Mumbai,
Okay.
for my MBA. And when I went there, I was sure I'll want to work for 4 or 5 years in the corporate life after my MBA, get the corporate placement, and then probably start a business somewhere in India.
What industry would you have looked at that point? Do you remember?
Probably consulting.
Consulting, right away.
Probably consulting.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you felt you had more to give?
I think I was very good at analytics. So I could immediately assess
Okay.
a balance sheet, a person, a situation.
Okay. Right.
And obviously consulting was the in thing in that time.
Okay.
McKinsey's of the world, the Boston BCG's of the world were doing very well.
Right.
And they were paying well as well.
Okay.
So I thought I would do that. But I got placed into Tata Motors, and we were doing our induction program for about 2 weeks in Mumbai.
Okay.
And that is when I hear a call late night saying my dad's not well.
Okay.
And of course they didn't tell me the story, but I got onto the next flight at 12:30 midnight. Came back to find out he was no more.
Oh.
And so that was heartbreaking, and where a normal adult would have started his life earning his money, living the Mumbai life as they call it, I was forced to come back to Cochin. And the decision was mine, yes, whether to start the family business, continue the family business, or to just shut it down and go back to Mumbai with my mother and sister and start a new life.
Okay.
So that is my story about getting into business,
Okay.
truly.
So you finally decided to continue with your family business.
Yeah.
And so how long did you keep that before you started looking at the next venture, or at what point did you decide to move to the next venture?
So again, as I told you, I have reasonably good clarity compared to most of the world, or maybe I would say I would top 90 percentile. So when I did ask Tata Motors, to relieve me from the job, because I had got my placement letter, they asked me, would you like to work in Cochin area office?
Okay.
Because my job was in marketing in Cuff Parade in Mumbai.
Okay.
But they did ask me an option, whether I'd like to continue in Kerala.
Okay.
And I thought, why not? I've worked so hard for 2 years, got into the best college, got into the best company, brand-wise, job-wise. So I said yes. But it is a different story, the Cuff Parade story is different from the area office story. So Cuff Parade is marketing, area office is sales. But when I joined, I told them I'll work for a year just to get the experience.
Right.
And then probably continue with the family business full scale.
Okay.
So while I was working in Tata Motors for a year, I was doing the business as well. So that was when I was pushing my limits, working from 7:30 in the morning till about 8 or 9 in the evening.
Okay.
Do an 8-hour regular shift at the office, come back. We never used to have tally back then, or it maybe just had started. We used to write our ledgers, write our journals,
Okay.
do our trial balances. So
Okay.
that's how I've learned. That's how I saw my dad, and I thought that was normal.
Okay.
And so that was 1 year how we did that. Before I said now enough is enough, because the date is over. I've learned what I wanted to learn in Tata Motors, and then jumped into business full-fledged.
Okay. Right. And so now that you are back home, rather Cochin, and now you're continuing your business, at some point you now decided that this was also not enough, or you would want to venture into your next big
That was much
opportunity.
early. That's what I'm saying. My mind is like a monkey. It just keeps jumping around.
Okay.
So that was much early. In fact, 2003 was when I came back to Kerala. In 2005, I started my next venture within 2 years.
Okay.
So we got an opportunity through my friends in Tata Motors. They said a friend of theirs is opening a factory for manufacturing furnitures and fixtures in Bangalore.
Okay.
So I said, would you like to invest? They knew I had decent money, from what I would make from my business. So would you like to invest? And that was my first venture just after 2 years of my starting business.
Okay.
So we started the factory. The factory was there. I went in as an investor and a marketing, specialist. And we ran that place for about 3 years.
Okay.
The factory did very well. I exited that for different reasons.
Okay.
But those 3 years, I used to, go to Bangalore every other weekend, travel by bus, stay there, do a sales review call, come back after one night by bus again.
Right.
So that was my routine for 2 or 3 years between 2005 and 2007, 8. Yeah.
So you enjoyed that period?
Oh yeah.
It was a great learning,
Of course.
great opportunity.
Of course.
And then post that, did you venture into your next business then?
Yeah, the next business was marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, 2008 I got married, and so that was the second innings of life, as they call
Right.
it.
Okay.
But because I had again some money left after the exit, so now what to do with it? So again, a friend of mine calls me up, and in the night he says there is a story sitting session, which means somebody has to narrate you a story, and I have only heard about it in Bollywood.
Okay.
Where the director asks the actor for coming for a story setting session. I said, yeah, I'm interested.
We're talking about the film now.
Yeah, we're talking about the film now. So 2008, 2009 is, 2008 I got married, and 2009 is when this offer came up. So I went night 8:30 after dinner, sat in the office for about 2.5 hours, listened to the story. But I'm a businessman, so I asked, story is good, tell me money, where's the money? And how safe are we? And things fell in place. That's how overnight I became a producer.
Right.
So that was the next venture immediately after marriage.
Well done, well done. Cool. And then after that?
So after that I didn't have money left because the movie took away all the money.
Okay.
The movie unfortunately did very well critically. It was well appreciated.
Oh.
But due to various commercial factors about theatres, about distributors, we didn't do reasonably on financial terms.
Okay.
But it was an experience of myself. At 28, if you can be called a producer, I think it's not too bad.
So for the audience, as a first-time producer, what would be your greatest takeaway from that opportunity to, create a movie and, be there?
I think the takeaway as a producer or any other thing will be very similar, that don't jump into a business that you don't know about.
Okay.
So, and I thought movies was passion, it was fun, it was glamour. I never thought it was so serious business.
Okay.
And that is the biggest takeaway that I had, because I then knew that every aspect of the movie is pure commercial business.
Okay.
And unless you know, don't get in. And that's why you see now there are a lot of actors who do get into production, But at then those times you will not see an actor get into production.
Yeah.
Because he knows taking a remuneration is much safer than putting your money to make the movie.
Okay.
So I think that's the biggest takeaway from that movie, that and I did promise myself one day in my life I will make another movie, and this time we'll make money out of it.
Okay. So that dream still remains?
It does.
Okay. So if the right opportunity comes along and if the numbers are right,
Yes.
you would think about it?
100%.
Oh, well done. Well done. Great. Awesome. So after the movie part, so since you were at that time, things were a little tough, I believe. You would have gone through a lot more than probably we can describe today. How did you manage that time personally? How did you overcome that period of, sitting on, because today it's very easy for someone to say, okay, just move on. But that day you probably didn't actually move on. You probably sat on it for a while. How did you overcome that?
No, so the movie did not create a financial dent as such, because it was out of my surplus only.
Okay.
And mental holdbacks are not too long for me. I mean, generally I'm just the next person to hop on,
All right.
So mentally it was not too tough.
Okay.
But then I had to find something else to do.
Okay.
Because now the movie is over, now what? So, every 2-3 years there's something new that has to come up.
Right.
So that was the only challenge now, because now we are constrained by the resources that we have. The surplus is now not that big. So what to do now? That was the only challenge. Otherwise, it was not a challenging times in terms of being a flop or being not.
Did you make that decision alone, or did you have advisors who suggested that you should go into the movie business when you first did it?
No.
It was your decision.
In fact, that is the single regret I have in my life, that I never had a mentor.
Okay.
And that is probably one of the reasons why today, if somebody asks me to be a mentor, I just say yes.
Okay.
Without looking at my time, my health, money is definitely, I don't charge anything. But that is the only regret, that I never had a mentor. At different points in life, right from getting back from Mumbai to starting the factory, to doing the movie, to doing all other ventures or all of the mistakes. If I had probably had a mentor, things would have been a little different.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's a lot to learn, and I think everybody needs to understand what it means to have a mentor, really.
I think, Ronnie, that's the most understated thing, that any businessman today should understand. There is so much to learn from so many successful people, You just take the top 10 books, read the top 10 podcasts, talk to top 10 people, and your life can be sorted.
True. For the audience, would you like to mention the movie?
Okay. The movie was called Chemistry.
Okay.
And it was a pure commercial movie.
Okay.
It was based on a real life story, inspired by real life story.
And the actors you can mention, any one of
them? Yeah, so we had Mukesh, we had Jagadish Srikumar, we had Harisri Ashokan,
nice.
We had Vineet,
right.
We had Sharanya Mohan.
Okay.
I mean, it was a top. Rimi Tommy was a singer, Jayachandran was a music director.
Right.
Vijit Tambi was a film director.
Right, okay.
Vinu Kiriyat, Balu Kiriyat's brother, was the script writer.
Right, okay.
So we had the plot sorted out. We had everything going good.
Right.
Today also, I think if you look up on YouTube or on any other digital media, Surya TV, I think it's got the highest number of views, about 30-40 lakh views on that single movie.
All right. What was the subject about?
So this was about a real life incident when 3 young girls were molested by a school teacher in Haripar somewhere.
Okay.
And they committed suicide, and how the ghost of these girls come back to take revenge. That was the broad kind of storyline. So like a semi-horror, but based on the life story. So the first part was real, and then the second part was
fictional.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So yeah, this is a tricky question, but I think it's a bit controversial as well. Everybody generally assumes that if you work very hard, you're going to be successful. But a lot of people work very hard, but for some reason, they don't make it as an entrepreneur.
The question is, where have you put your ladder?
Okay.
I mean, you can keep climbing rungs of ladder, but if your ladder is up the wrong wall, you'll never reach anywhere. So yes, I do agree, everybody works hard, but the direction is what creates the difference.
Okay.
And it's not easy. So while I say this with ease, it's not easy to find direction. It takes a lot of failures, it takes a lot of mentors, if you are lucky, to find the right direction for you, because everybody is made a different way.
Okay.
And I always quote this example, a rickshaw puller who also works 8 to 10 hours a day, probably he could have done something better. I had this incident it's very strange, but I'll narrate it to you. I was in Agra for Taj Mahal visit a long time back, and I saw a guide.
Okay.
And he was speaking Gujarati for a group of tourists over there. And then I was just following around. They were explaining what the Taj Mahal was, how it was built, etc., etc. And then 20 minutes later, I saw the same guide speaking the most fluent Spanish that I could ever understand.
Okay.
And it created a very curious mindset for me because I was also young then. So I went up to him after he finished his job, and I asked him, how do you speak so many languages? And he says, I have this thing in me that every year I need to learn a new language.
Okay.
Because Taj Mahal is India's symbol, and the world over people come to visit. I want to make them as comfortable as possible. That's my responsibility as a custodian of Taj Mahal's guide, if you can call it that way.
Okay.
And so every year he used to learn a language, and he could speak 11 languages with ease. And that kind of put me in a spot where I was thinking, that person who generates roughly $10 in today's terms, say 1,000 rupees per day, with so much talent, with so much curiosity, with so much intention, and with so much integrity, just to please the client that comes to visit India, to visit Taj Mahal, it's not his house. It's not his business.
Yeah, but he believes he's a brand ambassador.
He believes he's a brand ambassador, and he puts in so much commitment, and he still does about 1,000 rupees a day. If this person was sitting in any of the multinational companies, he would probably be the president, vice president, CEOs.
Yeah.
Which means a lot of things that we take credit for is just pure luck. It's just where we are born into, it's just the surroundings, it's just our upbringing. Circumstantial.
Yeah.
And we fail to pay gratitude to circumstances.
Yeah.
So, I totally come back to your question saying that, all this is there because of some divine things. Yeah. So hard work does play a role, but that direction was not given to that guide. And that's why he probably is doing what he's doing. He's probably happy. We are nobody to judge whether 1,000 rupees is a low income or a high income.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's very happy, I agree. But his capability is much more.
Yeah.
And that's why his hard work is not going in a direction, because nobody guided him that way.
Yeah.
So I think if direction is not there, you're going to be spinning around in circles.
Okay.
And
so how important is consistency in achieving success?
I think it is the only thing that works for success.
Okay.
Because a lot of what we see, a lot of the overnight successes are 20 years of hard work.
Yes.
A lot of many humans, actually everybody, underestimate what they can do in the long term and overestimate what they can do in the short term.
Okay.
I mean, you want a six-pack in 3 months. You want to build a palace in 1 year. You want to do everything in 3 months. That's not possible.
Correct.
And while, if you have direction, if you have the mentorship, you can do all of this in maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years.
Absolutely.
So the difference there is the consistency.
Yeah.
You need somebody to tell you to do this thing day on day, week on week, month on month, year on year, and result is guaranteed.
So, assuming all the other aspects are already there for this person, but for some reason the person doesn't have a leadership quality, or is trying but is struggling there, how can such a person overcome that?
But wouldn't we be very myopic in our view to say he does not have leadership quality?
Okay.
I mean, what is leadership quality? I would say leadership quality is just about two things, about your vision and how you can engage people, human beings.
Okay.
Everything else can be learned.
Right.
Everything else can be learned. And I don't think anybody does not have a vision, Everybody has a vision,
Yeah.
It's different that you have a 6-year vision, you have a 60-year vision.
Okay.
That's different.
Absolutely.
So you can engage in all those terms, and I think it also starts at different points in life. If you were to ask me whether I would be speaking the same language 10 years back, maybe not.
Okay.
We all evolve. Our goalposts keep changing. Our qualities keep on evolving. But again, the key is direction.
Okay.
If the best has to come out of you, the direction has to be right. And all the successful people have been successful because they found the direction much early.
Okay.
If
They
you were to
figured
say,
it out?
yeah.
Okay.
So if you say Elon Musk, now he was good with technology, and that's why you see earlier stories from PayPal onwards and then till what he is today. So he found his direction much early.
Okay.
Whereas the world is mediocre because most of the people find direction much late, which is okay, which is not wrong.
Yeah.
But at least find a direction before you die.
So yeah, like when you mentioned about PayPal and how tech and AI is working in our lives today, but we work with a lot of people. And at what point did you know that people were not just going to be my friends or the people that I met once, but it's also going to be strategy, it's also going to be part of probably my business or the way I do things. So how did you, at what point juncture did you realize that people are going to be, the core of everything? Because this is actually opposite to everything that's happening in this world. Every human is worrying about technology and they're just forgetting about themselves. And here you are working in the opposite direction, saying no, it's people that's going to take things forward. So at what point did you know that?
I can't put a date or a day to it, but I think BNI has been very instrumental in getting me to know that this part of my life or my personality, and it was not very conscious decision. It just happened that validation kept on coming, and then I started understanding that this is what I'm good at. And I think women are very good at understanding the sixth sense or these things. I narrate an instance. When I just got married, and I was going to see my wife, the then fiance, and at the airport, my father-in-law had come to greet me, and my brother-in-law's small child had also come, 5 years, 6 years, and there also was my wife's grandmother. So the 4 generations, you can call it.
Wow. Okay.
All of them were there. Obviously, they're excited. The daughter's getting married.
Right.
And I was told by my wife much later how I could put to ease all 4 of them.
Okay.
How I spoke to my father-in-law, how I spoke to the 5-year-old child, how I spoke to the grandmother, and obviously how I spoke to my wife. And I didn't know about this, of course.
Okay.
That was me, natural way. And later on, I think that is what makes me good with people, is because I can talk to them in their language without being pretentious.
Okay.
Without looking effort, without taking much effort about it.
Okay.
And I think people are just that. When you talk to people, you cannot be telling them that you are superior. You have to make them feel that they are superior. And again, look at Amitabh Bachchan, look at Sachin Tendulkar, look at all the greats. You talk to them. Have you seen an episode of KBC?
Yes.
How Amitabh Bachchan greets his fellow contestants?
Yes.
I mean, with so much humility, with so much,
Yeah.
pleasing personality.
Absolutely.
He
Yes.
doesn't have to do it. He's getting paid to do it.
Yes.
It will not make him look nice, but
Yeah.
that's how he is. So I think the way about people is just that, The moment you start feeling that you have to be the most interesting person, the other person will stop being interested in you.
True. Very true.
So the only thing is you got to be interested to make yourself interesting, not the other way around.
True. Very true. And so when you talk about your networking journey, BNI wasn't the first place. You had some networking opportunities even prior to that, but it got you to BNI at one day. Which part of it would you like to let the audience know, as in how it has helped you?
No, in fact, BNI was among the first places, because till then all my businesses were individual businesses where I was the boss. I used to pay salaries and got stuff done. BNI came about in Cochin much early, in about 2013, and that is where I had a formal opportunity to talk, interact with people.
Okay.
Before that, it was probably maybe like we have an Agarwal Yuva Mandal, which is a small body of like-minded people who come from the same community, and we would do some charity. But that was a very small aspect. We probably met once a month on a Sunday, have some chai, samosas, and do some charity and get away. But that was not where I learnt. Again, I will not call it networking, but I would say people skills, or talking to people,
or creating an impact.
Or creating an impact.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
creating also was much later.
Okay.
So
You wanted to reach out more.
Yes, that is the right way, where we understand that what we are doing is helping somebody.
Okay.
And then we think, okay, and then that gives us joy.
Okay.
You know, contrary to what people think, earning money is not the biggest joy in the world. I think
Absolutely.
helping people is the biggest joy in the world. The peace of mind that comes along with it is not can't be bought with money.
Correct.
So if there's a luxury that can be bought with money, I think that's not luxury. So luxury is something which money can't buy.
Okay.
I define luxury that way.
Right. Okay.
So when you talk to people and when you see what your words have created impact, and you don't know while you're doing this, you know, we don't start intentionally, I'm going to give a motivation speech, I'm going to tell him to do this, I'm going to mentor him, I'm going to solve a problem of his. You just do because it's your natural instinct. And when you see the results and when somebody comes back to you saying that, you know, it was helpful. And obviously at that time, people have this tendency to hold back, you know, they don't want to say it was because of you that I got this.
Correct.
They'll probably fleetingly mention it somewhere where it helped that way.
Okay.
And when you keep getting such signs, you want to do more of it. It's like a dopamine.
Okay. Oh yes, absolutely.
Giving is like dopamine. You do something, it's like habit formation. You do a good habit, somebody appreciates you. You do it second, somebody again appreciates you, and then now it's a self-pressure
to keep it up.
To make it a habit, permanent habit.
Absolutely.
No, it's that way. You know, you do anything for 5 days, you mark on the calendar, and then 6th day you want to see the tick mark on the calendar.
Okay.
That's how habits are created, and that's the dopamine.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, your BNI journey didn't just start in Trivandrum. There is prior to that.
Yes.
I mean, so that has something to do with why you ended up starting BNI Trivandrum. Would you like to share a bit about the audience of how you started in BNI?
Yeah, for sure. So in leadership, there's a concept where it's called the law of the lid, and John Maxwell has propagated this concept. So you can do the best till where your lid is. Let's say you are a container, which all of us are containers in life, and we have so many experiences, we have so many positions, we have so many relationships, and the lid of the container is there.
Okay.
Now that's the best you can do, because after that the container is closed. But imagine a bigger container. Imagine a bigger container where the lid is much higher, and that leaves you with that gap to explore. That is where my BNI journey from Trivandrum started, because in Cochin, when I started as a member, my lid was on a lower level. My jar was small. And then it started growing, you know, when you support chapters, when you get on leadership positions, your container grows.
Okay.
But at some point, I think that was the maximum that Cochin could offer at that point.
Okay.
And so I thought, what I'm doing is helping people, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm not, just a person who says charity. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and as a collateral, it's helping somebody. Why not get a bigger jar?
Okay.
Or why not go into a bigger jar? Increase the height of the lid, and that kind of brought me to Trivandrum,
Okay.
where I could, in fact, design my own container.
Okay.
Design where the lid should be, how big it should be,
Okay.
and start creating that impact.
So when you decided that you're going to have BNI Trivandrum, or you're going to be a part of it, or you knew it was going to happen, there was a day when it started, were you immediately able to envision, an entire game plan, or think of it, this is what I want it to be in a decade, or in 20 years, or 25 years, or this is what BNI Trivandrum should look like? Were you able to do that immediately, or did it take some time?
So we do get a lot of training from amazing leaders across the world who help you put forward a vision board
Okay.
for what you're going to do.
Okay.
So as part of that training, I did have a vision for, say, 5 years, because we started in 2020.
Okay.
So we did have a vision for 2025
Okay.
with that basis. But I think the real vision for Trivandrum started to come about once I started tasting success in terms of validation, in terms of acceptance.
Okay.
Because you should understand many things. I am Vikas Agarwal, so by birth definitely a Malayali, but not by origins. And for some reason, anywhere you go in India, if you're not from that place, you're also always an outsider. That thing always is there in my mind. So I'm Vikas Agarwal here. I come to Trivandrum, which is the new city, which is not the city of my birth. I bring about a new concept, which Trivandrum has never seen before. I bring about a concept called networking, which is always seen as in the wrong light due to some previous instances of other companies doing it the unethical way. So the word networking was a taboo. It was not the right word to be using. And then God gave it the final tadka, as we call it, the final garnish on top of the dal, which is COVID.
Yeah.
So all these were the circumstances at that point in time. So very, very apprehensively I did start. By God's grace and with lovely people around me, the thing became a reasonably good success in a very short time.
Okay.
And that is when I expanded my vision to say, now this is not the numbers that the global leaders have taught you. It is not about X number of members or X number of chapters or X amount of business. I think this has to go more beyond. It has to go beyond these numbers. The real impact has to come in when everybody understands the value, how this could be a shortcut to their journey. They will still reach where they want to reach if they are disciplined.
Okay.
If a business owner wants to reach from 1 crore to 100 crores, and if he puts in all the resources, goes in the right direction, is consistent, is committed, if he takes say 10 years to do it in a normal case, and only one person will do it, by the way, 98 will not or 99 will not, but let's talk about the one person who does it. If he takes 10 years to do it, I think with BNI that can be done in half the time.
Okay.
And that is the thought process which I currently am thinking how we can simplify processes.
Okay.
Because it's very easy to complicate.
True, very true.
It's very easy to complicate, but how we can simplify their journey of growing to wherever they want. So
Okay.
I am nobody to put a target to your business because everybody has got a different ambition level.
Correct.
Some people are very happy with just feeding their family, which is right.
Everybody is made differently. Yeah.
Yes. So you have 4 levels of people. You have the person who is okay to just feed his family and live a good life. Then you have somebody who wants to be known in the society, in his local society, could live a good life. And then you have some people who want to leave a legacy where money, family, society, community all come in later, but they want to leave something after they're not there anymore.
Okay.
And all 4 stages are okay.
All
There's
right.
nothing wrong with being in any of these stages.
Yeah.
But can we simplify that process of going from point A to point B
Okay.
through this beautiful medium?
Okay.
And when I talk about this beautiful medium, it's just not about what the BNI teaches you. It's also to get in touch with people like me and amazing other leaders like me. Again, not like me, but amazing leaders
Yeah.
who they can learn so much from.
Yeah.
I think everybody has got something to learn from. And business is just one part,
Yeah.
If I like a quality of yours, if I can imbibe that, and if I can do that 10 times over, 100 times over, I have just become a better person, which will probably impact my journey from A to B.
Okay.
It need not be just the learnings of that professional BNI platform.
Now, in spite of being a person that can read and write Malayalam, so Vikas Agarwal can read and write Malayalam.
Yes.
A lot of people don't probably know that.
A lot of Malayalis can't, by the way.
Actually, even I struggled. So I didn't have to study it growing up. Now that നമ്മൾക്കിപ്പം ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് BNI ഇത്ര ആക്റ്റീവായിട്ട് പോകുന്നു, കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസങ്ങളിൽ പുതിയ 2 ചാപ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തു. ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് 100 പേരോളം വന്ന് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവർക്ക് റിഫറൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്, ഇപ്പം ബിസിനസ് ഓൾറെഡി അവരത് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, അവർക്കത് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ അതിനൊരു ടെർമിനോളജി അല്ലെ, അത് അങ്ങനൊരു സംഭവമുണ്ട്, അത് കൊടുക്കണം, സ്ഥിരമായിട്ട് കൊടുക്കണം. ഇതെങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു പുതിയ BNI ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരാൾക്ക് നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞ് മനസ്സിലാക്കി കൊടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്?
ഏത് ബിസിനസ് ആൾക്കാരെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് അവർ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സർവീസാണ് വിൽക്കാൻ നോക്കുന്നത്, അല്ലേ? ഹി വാണ്ട്സ് ടു സെൽ എ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഓർ സർവീസ്.
കറക്റ്റ്.
അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യം എന്താണ്? ഒരു ക്ലയൻ്റ് ആണ് ആവശ്യം. കറക്റ്റ്. ആരെങ്കിലും വാങ്ങണ്ടേ ഇത് സാധനം?
അതെ.
ഇൻ എ നോർമൽ സർക്കംസ്റ്റാൻസ് ഇൻ ദ വേൾഡ് ആ ജോലി പുള്ളി തന്നെ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. അതായത് ഫൈൻഡിങ് ദ ക്ലയൻറ്റ് ആൻഡ് പിച്ചിങ് ടു ഹിം, കളക്ടിങ് ദ പേയ്മെൻറ്റ്, ഇതെല്ലാം ബിസിനസ് ആൾക്കാർ തന്നെയാണ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. വെൻ എ റെഫറൽ കംസ് ഇൻ ടു എ പിക്ചർ, the first 2 things are being done by somebody else. അതായത് മൂന്നാമത്തെ ഒരാൾ പറയുന്നു, റോണി പറഞ്ഞ വ്യക്തിക്ക് ഒരു വണ്ടിയുടെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്, വൈ ഡോണ്ട് യു ഗോ ടു XYZ ഷോറൂം, അവിടെ പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഞാൻ അവൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് പറഞ്ഞേക്കാം ദാറ്റ് റോണി വിൽ കം ആൻഡ് ബൈ എ കാർ. ചെന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഡിസ്കൗണ്ട് കിട്ടിയേക്കാം, ചിലപ്പോൾ നല്ല സർവീസ് കിട്ടിയേക്കാം, ആൻഡ് യു വിൽ ബി വെൽക്കംഡ്. Referral is just that. Referral is just a bridge between somebody in the market who wants a product or service and the provider of service or product.
Okay.
Very simple.
Great. ഇപ്പോൾ ജനറലി നമ്മുടെ ഓഡിയൻസിന് വേണ്ടി പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ലീഡാണ് സാധാരണ പോകുന്നത്. ആരുടെങ്കിലും ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു പേരും നമ്പറും കിട്ടി ഒരാൾക്ക് കൊടുത്താൽ നീ വിളിച്ചോ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അത് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ചാൻസ് വളരെ കുറവായിരിക്കും. അതേ സമയത്ത് അറിയുന്ന ഒരാൾ അവർക്ക് വേണ്ടി സംസാരിച്ച് ഒരു ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ കൊടുത്ത് കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞ് മനസ്സിലാക്കി ഇവരെ അറിയിച്ച് അവരെ എങ്ങനെ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ അവതരിപ്പിക്കണമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആ ഒരു കണക്ഷൻ ഡെവലപ്പ് ആവാൻ ഭയങ്കര സാധ്യത കൂടുതലാണ്. BNI പക്ഷെ അത് ഗ്യാരണ്ടി ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല.
ഇല്ല, ഒരിക്കലില്ല.
നമുക്കത് ചെയ്യാനും പറ്റത്തില്ല.
നമുക്ക് ജീവിതം ഗ്യാരണ്ടി ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, പിന്നല്ലേ റിഫറൽസിൻ്റെ കാര്യം.
ഓക്കെ, ദൈവോ. സോ ആ ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് പറഞ്ഞു തന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കി തന്നതിന് വളരെ സന്തോഷം. സോ ആ റെഫറൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് എല്ലാവർക്കും മനസ്സിലായി. ഈ ട്രസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു വേർഡ് അത് എല്ലാ കാലത്തും ചില ഫേമസ് സ്ലോഗൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. നമുക്കറിയുന്ന പാർത്ഥൻ്റെ ഫാദർ ശ്രാവ്യ ചെയ്ത പോലെ ഒരു മെത്തഡുണ്ട് വേർ ദേ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ്ഡ് എ സ്ലോഗൻ കോൾ ജനകോടികളുടെ വിശ്വസ്ത സ്ഥാപനം അല്ലേ. നമ്മൾ ഈവൻ ഐ ഡോണ്ട് ഹാവ് ടു കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ദ കോട്ട്, യു ന്യൂ ഇറ്റ് അല്ലേ. അവരുടെ ഒരു ടാഗ് ലൈൻ ആ ഒരു സ്ഥാപനത്തിൻ്റെ ദാറ്റ് ബിസിനസ് ഇസ് നോ മോർ, ദ പേഴ്സൺ ഇസ് നോ മോർ. പക്ഷെ വാട്ട് ആൻ ഇമ്പാക്റ്റ് ഇറ്റ് മെയ്ഡ് അല്ലേ.
ട്രൂ.
അപ്പം ഈ പറയുന്ന വിശ്വാസം അല്ലെ ട്രസ്റ്റ് എത്ര ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ്?
As I said, വിശ്വാസമല്ലല്ലോ. There's another tagline, by the way.
Okay.
Where trust is everything, right?
Okay.
And the difficult part is you cannot create it overnight.
Yeah.
You have to walk the talk.
Okay.
നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന വാക്കുകൾ ഓരോരായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചാൽ മാത്രമേ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുള്ളൂ. Only then people will relate to what you're speaking.
Okay.
You cannot, let's say you are running a jewelry showroom and you say, I give you the best quality. And if there is one instance where somebody finds out after scanning that it had some impurity, it's gone. The
Correct.
trust which is built over 20-30 years might be just vanished in 20 seconds.
Correct.
അപ്പോൾ ഈ ട്രസ്റ്റൊക്കെ വലിയൊരു പാടാണ് ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ. നമ്മൾ ലൈഫ് ലോങ് നമ്മൾ ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്തിട്ട് ട്രസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയെടുത്താൽ തന്നെ ഒരു നിമിഷങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ട് ചിലപ്പോൾ അത് പോവാം. In seconds it can be destroyed. So it's a lot of pressure on any legacy brand or any person who claims to do something, but anything can go wrong and that claim can be just, invalidated.
Right. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇവരോട് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ വീണ്ടും ഓർമ്മപ്പെടുത്തേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യം, നിങ്ങൾ ഏറ്റവും നല്ല പ്രൊഡക്റ്റോ സർവീസോ കൊടുക്കുന്നു, ഏറ്റവും നല്ല രീതിയിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന രീതിയിലോ നിങ്ങളത് ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കുന്നു. പക്ഷേ അതിന് സമയമെടുക്കും അത് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ. അതിൽ നമ്മൾ വളരെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ടത് നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും അടുത്തുള്ള ആൾക്കാരെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം ഇത് കൺവിൻസ് ചെയ്തെടുക്കേണ്ടത് അല്ലേ. അപ്പം ഇറ്റ് മൈറ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ഫ്രം ഹോം അല്ലേ. വീട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് തുടങ്ങി അവർ കൺവിൻസ്ഡ് ആവണം, നമ്മുടെ നെയ്ബേഴ്സ്, ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്, ഫാമിലി, നെറ്റ്വർക്ക്. അപ്പം ആ ഒരു ടൈം ഗ്യാപ്പ് ആയിരിക്കും ഒരാളുടെ ഒരു വലിയ ബ്രേക്ക് ത്രൂ വരുന്നത് അല്ലേ, റെഫറലിൻ്റെ ഒരു കേസിൽ. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പം is it just about getting those referrals in BNI? Is there anything beyond that in terms of when you meet people? What happens there? അവിടെ ബന്ധങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു, but ആ ബന്ധങ്ങൾക്ക് is it a short term thing or can it be forever?
That is where I think the intent and integrity come into place. I totally believe that even though I am running such a large network, I have reasonably good success in doing so, and we speak about building relationships being the backbone of business. Truly, I think building relationships should not be done with the intent to have business, because when that intent comes into play, everything changes. Just try for anything. Like if you want to talk to somebody and go without expecting anything, wanting anything from that person.
Correct.
And just see how the relationship blossoms. It's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
ബിസിനസ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് പോലെയാണ്. നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയോ ആൾക്കാർ കാണുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഓരോ ആവശ്യമില്ലാതെ നമ്മൾ ആൾക്കാരുടെ നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് അൺലിമിറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ട് കിട്ടും. വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് അൺലിമിറ്റഡ് ഇൻ അബണ്ടൻസ്.
കറക്റ്റ്.
ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ അവിടെയാണ്. That they go and hang around with people who can give them immediate results. അവൻ എൻ്റെ ബിസിനസ്സിലാണ്, ഞാൻ അവിടെ പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എനിക്ക് ഇത് കിട്ടും.
Okay.
ചിലപ്പോൾ 1 മാസം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് കിട്ടും, ചിലപ്പോൾ 6 മാസം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് കിട്ടും. പക്ഷേ ആ ഇൻറ്റൻഷൻ അവിടെ ഉണ്ട്.
മനസ്സിലായി.
ബാക്ക് എൻഡിൽ അത് പ്രോസസ് നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക.
Correct.
When that happens, no,
Yeah.
the entire delivery goes for a toss.
Yeah.
But if you go with the pure intention of just giving your best, what can I do to them or to me or to this relationship,
Yeah.
without even thinking what will I get in return,
Yeah.
it's amazing. If you see the latest cricketer Vaibhav, you know, you see all the interviewers, all the world is going gaga, and he just says, I just want to play.
Correct.
He's not bothered about interviewers, where the camera is, what he's going to get. He gets some check, he just puts it somewhere.
Correct.
Because his aim is very clear. എനിക്ക് 200 അടിക്കണം. അവൻ്റെ intention അതാണ്, which is just the game.
Correct.
Not what the game will provide him, not what it will give him money, it will give him celebrity, it will give him fame status. അതൊന്നും പുള്ളി നോക്കുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഈ നെറ്റ്വർക്കിംഗ് അതുപോലെയാണ്. So my mantra, if you can call it, is that, you know, I don't want anything from anybody. And I'm not being pompous about it. I wish that God gives me such abundance in everything in life, whether it's health, wealth, prosperity, fame, name, happiness, that let people exploit me, I'm okay. Let people use me, I'm okay. Let me not expect anything from anybody. And that has put me in a state of mind which is like bliss, you know, which is amazing. You know, I can't describe it to you, but probably my expression, my face will show it to you. Because once you reach that level, then networking is just another word.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you think about the impact of what BNI has done to Trivandrum. So we have BNI Trivandrum. നമ്മൾ ആക്ച്വലി അത് സ്പിൽ ഓവർ ആവുന്നുണ്ട്. ആക്ച്വലി ഈ മീറ്റിങ്ങിൽ വരുന്നവർ മാത്രമല്ലല്ലോ,
അതെ,
ഒരു ഹോൾ എക്കോസിസ്റ്റത്തിനെ നമ്മൾ ടാപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്.
അതെ,
ഐ തിങ്ക് അതും അതിരാവിലെ മുതലേ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്.
അതെ
അല്ലേ? പണ്ട് അതൊരു ക്ലീഷയായിരുന്നു, പത്രം ഇടുന്നു, പാലുകാരൻ വരുന്നു, അല്ല പല കാര്യങ്ങളും ചെയ്യുന്നു. പക്ഷേ സിറ്റി എഴുന്നേൽക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പേ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒന്ന് ലൈവ് ആവുന്നതിന് മുമ്പേ ഇവിടെ ബിസിനസ് ഓൾറെഡി സ്റ്റാർട്ടായി.
ബാറ്ററി
ചാർജും ആയി. കറക്റ്റ്. അപ്പം അതുകൊണ്ട് ഈ ട്രിവാൻഡ്രം ഒരു കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി ആയിട്ട് ഒരു ചേഞ്ചസും ഇമ്പാക്റ്റ് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. Are you able to notice any striking changes? So for instance, if I was thinking, today there are close to 1,000 people in Trivandrum. 1,000 പേരുണ്ട് തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത്.
അത് ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ആക്റ്റീവ് മെമ്പേഴ്സ്.
സൂട്ട് ഇട്ടുകൊണ്ട് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് രാവിലെ ഒരു മീറ്റിങ്ങിന് പോകുന്നു, അല്ലെ ഒരു ജാക്കറ്റ് ഇട്ടുകൊണ്ട്, അല്ലെ ഫോർമലായിട്ട്. സാധാരണ ഒരു കല്യാണത്തിനോ ഫംഗ്ഷനോ നമ്മുടെ നാടിൻ്റെ ഒരു രീതി വെച്ച് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ഒറ്റ റീസൺ കൊണ്ട് എന്തൊരു ഇമ്പാക്റ്റ് ഇവിടെ വന്ന് കാണും. ഫോർ the way people see things, how they carry themselves, how they
വിൽക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങി.
yeah, true. But also have people become more conscious about how they carry themselves. കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഒരു വേൾഡ് ലെവലിലോട്ട് പോകണം, ഒരു ഗ്ലോബൽ സൈഡിലോട്ട് പോകണം. അവർ പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ അവർ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് പറയാൻ തുടങ്ങി. അവരുടെ ശൈലി മാറി. കുറച്ചുകൂടെ സ്ട്രക്ചേർഡായിട്ട് കോൺവെർസേഷൻസ് നടക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങി. അവരുടെ ആംബിഷൻസ് കൂടി. ഓക്കെ. അപ്പോൾ ഇരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു 6 വർഷം കാലയളവ് കഴിഞ്ഞു BNI Trivandrum തുടങ്ങിയിട്ട്. വാട്ട് ആർ ദി ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് ഒബ്സർവേഷൻസ് ദാറ്റ് യു ഹാവ്? ബിക്കോസ് യു റിമെമ്പർ 2020 വന്ന് ആദ്യത്തെ മെമ്പർ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം, അതും കോവിഡിന് തൊട്ട് മുമ്പേ അല്ലേ, തുടങ്ങുന്ന തൊട്ട് മുമ്പേ. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് കോവിഡ് ഹാപ്പൻ ചെയ്യുന്നു. ദെൻ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് തിങ്സ് ആർ ഹാപ്പനിങ് ഓൺലൈൻ. ദെൻ അഗെയിൻ യു ആർ കമ്മിങ് ബാക്ക് ഇൻ പേഴ്സൺ. ഇടയ്ക്ക് ലോങ് ഗ്യാപ്പ്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഒരു 6 വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞു. എത്രയോ പേര് വന്നു പോയി. ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് തിങ്സ് അതെ. അപ്പോൾ വാട്ട് ആർ ദോസ് ചേഞ്ചസ് കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു മാറ്റം?
ഇതിൽ ഐ വിൽ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് വിത്ത് ഫിലോസഫിക്കൽ ചെറിയായിട്ട് ഒരു ആൻസർ. ലോ ഓഫ് അട്രാക്ഷൻ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. അൺലൈക്ക് പോപ്പുലർ ബിലീഫ്, the law of attraction is not that you will attract what you want. അത് ഞാനൊരു ഫെറാറി ആവശ്യപ്പെടുന്നു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആശയുന്നു, and then it will come to me. That's not what is law of attraction. Law of attraction is you attract what you are.
Okay.
Right? And that is what BNI has done to people in this 6 years. It has changed the way the people are. Whether it's just the superficial jacket, whether it's waking up in the morning and going to a hotel at 7:30, whether it's having those curated conversations, whether it's about enhancing their vision of life, അവർ എന്താണ് ജീവിതം കാണുന്നത്, എങ്ങനെയാണ് ജീവിതം കാണുന്നത്, എന്താണ് ബിസിനസ് രൂപം അവർ സങ്കല്പിക്കുന്നത്. All that is what BNI has done to business owners. And because of that, they have become a better human being, is what I would like to understand.
Okay.
They are attracting more.
Okay.
Now, this is from the business owner's point of view. The other point, which is society. Just like any other phenomena, ഒരു പുതിയ കാര്യങ്ങൾ വരുമ്പോൾ ആദ്യം റെസിസ്റ്റൻസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ വന്നപ്പോൾ നമുക്കറിയാലോ എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചു. ജോലി പോവും, സമരം ഉണ്ടാവും, എല്ലാ പ്രശ്നം ഉണ്ടാവും.
That is very relevant ഇന്നും.
Yes.
But nothing has changed, അല്ലേ? Business has grown, people have done.
കോവിഡ് ഉണ്ടപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ വിചാരിച്ചു ജീവിതം അവസാനിക്കും.
Correct.
Life is closed, finished.
Yeah.
പക്ഷെ we learned video conferencing.
Yeah.
ഒരു സൂം പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു ടൂൾ നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പഠിച്ചു.
അതെ, പിള്ളേർ വരെ.
നമ്മൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ്, ഈ പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ് is a child of COVID. Podcast byproduct of COVID, because podcast used to be heard.
Correct. Yeah.
But because of COVID, podcast used to be short, filmed, and length.
So true. I forgot that. Sharia. It used to be audio podcast. We used to listen to voices.
Yes, because you didn't have the time. So just like radio, you used to record it and listen to podcast.
Yeah.
But now, if you ask any child what's a podcast, this is the medium. It has to have fancy cameras, fancy lighting, fancy people, and right from Elon Musk to Vikas Agarwal, entire range you will get.
Yeah. Korpella, Ronnie Marman and Vikas Agarwal. Korpella.
That's why I'm saying the COVID has brought about so many changes, but we learn to live with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the next question I'm going to ask you is a bit, people are going to get upset if they realize. If they don't, then it's fine. You've met thousands of entrepreneurs now, അല്ലേ? പക്ഷേ അവരുടെ ബിസിനസ്സിനെ പറ്റി പറയാൻ തുടങ്ങുമ്പോൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ ഒരു അവതരണ രീതിയും ശൈലിയും, സം പീപ്പിൾ ആർ വെരി ഫോർത്രൈറ്റ്, അവർ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും പറയും. ചില പേര് കുറച്ച് നാൾ നമ്മൾ അറിയും, അവർ മേ ബി ബിക്കോസ് ദേ ആർ എ മെമ്പർ, ദേ ഹവ് ബീൻ ദെയർ. But there are the signs അവരുടെ ബിസിനസ്സിനെ പറ്റി. What does a failing business actually look like?
A failing business? Wow.
അവർക്കറിയില്ല.
Muslim.
But in your experience, you are already able to tell. We are trying to help them, or you are trying to help them.
So there was a textile shop in Cochin long time back. I will not name the name. And they were very big brand. Okay.
Starting with my name, letter?
No, I think we should leave it at that. So, a very big brand, and suddenly they were not doing that well. The number of customers came down, and obviously to cut costs, they started to shut off the AC of one portion of that showroom for some time to save cost. Now, because of that, the customers even fell lower, because when a person walks in the sweltering Kerala heat, avada chood സഹിക്കാൻ വയ്യ, അപ്പോൾ അവരും ഒന്നും പാങ്ങാത്തത് തിരിച്ചു പോകുന്നു. വീണ്ടും കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സിൻ്റെ എണ്ണം കുറയുമ്പോൾ അവൻ ലൈറ്റും ഓഫ് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങി ഒരു ഭാഗത്ത്. And that led to a downfall. Obviously, that person, that business owner was not understanding that this is causing. Otherwise, he would not have done it.
മനസ്സിലായി.
If he had the feeling that ഞാൻ ലൈറ്റ് ഓഫ് ചെയ്താൽ AC ഓഫ് ചെയ്താൽ ആൾക്കാർ വരില്ല, obviously അവൻ ചെയ്യില്ല, അവൻ മണ്ടനല്ലല്ലോ. പക്ഷേ at that point you don't understand. The point I'm coming to is any business which starts to cut corners or starts to give a inferior service to cut corners to save some money is the downfall of that business, is the downfall.
Okay.
And also you cannot charge the customer high, which is also giving an inferior service on the opposite end of the spectrum.
You're claiming something.
സാധനം നമ്മൾ 12 രൂപയായിട്ട് വാങ്ങുന്നു ബിക്കോസ് എനിക്ക് ലാഭമില്ല, അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് എക്സ്ട്രാ ലാഭം കിട്ടിയാൽ മാത്രമേ എനിക്ക് സർവൈവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ what happens is that customer at some point will realize that I'm being taken for a ride.
Okay.
And that story will come to an end abruptly very, very soon.
Okay.
So I think these two ends, where you're trying to save money because you're not doing well by giving inferior service to customer or by overcharging him, is one of the telltale signs of a falling business. And the problem with the failing business is first you fall slowly and then you fall fast. അപ്പോൾ സെയിൽസ് നമ്മൾ ഒരു 5 കോടി എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അപ്പോൾ 4 കോടി 90 ലക്ഷം എത്തുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവില്ല, ഈ മാസം കുറവായിരിക്കും. ആൻഡ് ദെൻ 490 to 480 വരും. നമ്മൾ അത് തന്നെ വിചാരിക്കും 10 ലക്ഷം കുറവുള്ളൂ. അങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കും ആദ്യം വീഴാൻ തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. പിന്നെ ആയിരിക്കും പെട്ടെന്ന് 4:18 4 എത്തുന്നു, 4 3 എത്തുന്നു, and then by the time it's too late. It's just like heating that water, you know. When the frog is inside the water, if you put him in a jar or container and heat the water, it's going to enjoy the shower. വെള്ളം തെളിപ്പിച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നല്ല രസമല്ലേ? We like to take, you know, lukewarm water shower. And when it gets little hot, it's still saying maybe it will become okay. And he's not jumping it. Denial. ഇത് എൻ്റെ പ്രശ്നമല്ല, ഇപ്പൊ ശരിയാവും. And then by the time it gets to 90 and 100 degrees, it's impossible to bear it. By the time you're not left with any energy to jump out as well. അപ്പോൾ ബിസിനസ് സംബന്ധിച്ച് അതാണ്. ആ ഇനീഷ്യൽ സയൻസ് നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിട്ട് ഒന്നെങ്കിൽ ശരിയാക്കാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിർത്താം. പക്ഷെ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ you're definitely going to fall. And by the time you realize that if it's too late, then it's very difficult to come back.
Okay. So, just imagine somebody does come to you realizing that they need help, but they still have passion, they still have interest. They made some bad choices earlier, maybe because of lack of experience, lack of mentors, bad advices. They were keeping up with, you know, the others, and they said, okay, it's right. But if they have the will, they're willing to step up, they have consistency, they're willing to take up a mentor seriously, do they have a chance?
Let me ask you one question. Let's say a dog is chasing you, and you've tried all your best to run away from it. And but some mentors told you, no, odanda, avada ninna madi, ella seriyavum, and you stood ground. You want to escape the dog, that's for sure. Otherwise it will bite you, kill you, whatever it is. Will you still listen to the mentors that, you know, stay your ground, fight it? No. The first thing will be to go out of sight, you know, just to hide, where he can't see you, smell you, whatever it is, and then take the next course of action. So if you are in a situation in business where you are in debt for various reasons, ചിലപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ തീരുമാനങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ടാവാം, or mentors-ന്റെ തീരുമാനം, whatever it is, the first thing should be get out of it. Come what may. You have to sell your house, you have to sell your jewelry, you have to sell, beg, borrow, steal, whatever. Get out of it. Keep your passion aside. You know, your passion has not worked. Let's be clear. For some reasons, your passion has been unsuccessful so far.
Yeah, it wasn't a business; it was charity.
Whatever it is, could be strategy problem, could be execution problem, could be people problem, could be your problem, which is most of the cases. Out of mara, uri mara. Just get out of it, and then, as you said, have the willingness now not to repeat that, because once is a mistake, twice is not a mistake. Twice is intention.
Okay.
You know, when you choose to do the second mistake, again, it's a choice that you're making.
Okay.
So then, you know, you have to completely get out of it. There cannot be an ounce of, you know, pending debt or that mentality also. Just not physical debt, mentality also. You know, what is done is done. But once you're out of it, then ask for help, and I'm sure the world gives you help.
If you ask,
if you ask. That's
specifically again, ask for what kind of help you need.
You tell me one person who was asked and has not got it. We all fail to ask. We all have our own egos.
Pride?
Yes, we have all, not pride. Pride is still good. I'm saying, and there's a very fine line between pride and ego.
Okay.
And we are all our egos. ഞാൻ എന്തിനു ചോദിക്കുന്നു? അവൻ്റെ ജൂനിയർ അല്ലേ? 10 വർഷം മുമ്പ് അവന് 1 കോടി ബിസിനസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, എനിക്ക് അന്ന് 100 കോടി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഞാൻ എന്തിനു ചോദിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നു? But that is then. Today, if you can ask, you will get it. And there's no doubt in that. Just don't ask money. Because people are very sentimentally attached to money for some reason. You ask for advice, you will get it. You ask for mentorship, you will get it. You ask for ideas, you will get it. You ask for collaboration, you will get it. And maybe after that you will get money also.
Okay.
പക്ഷേ ചോദിക്കാനാണ് മടി ആൾക്കാർക്ക്.
That's the first step, അല്ലേ?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you were thinking it that way, like since you have all that experience with these kind of situations with so many people, ഒരു ബിസിനസ്സിൽ ഒരു സത്യം അത് ദാറ്റ് യു ബിലീവ്, അത് ഓൺട്രപ്രണേഴ്സ് മൊത്തം ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു റൂമിനകത്ത് നമ്മളത് പറയുമ്പോൾ അവർക്കത് കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടത്തില്ല. That's something that you want to share. It's a truth because you've reached here ചുമ്മാതല്ല. You've been through your own set of struggles, failures, challenges and so many other things like that. പക്ഷേ you want to uplift a room by addressing the elephant in the room by saying that, hey, ഇത് ഉള്ളതാണ്.
എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു അതിൽ നമ്മുടെ BNIയുടെ കോർ ഫിലോസഫി ഗിവേഴ്സ് തന്നെയാണ് ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ. ബിക്കോസ് നമ്മൾ എപ്പോഴും ഈ സംസാരിക്കാൻ യു ഗിവ് യുൽ ഗെറ്റ് അങ്ങനെ പറയുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ആദ്യം ഞാൻ കണ്ണ് ചിരിയാ. ഒരു പുതിയ ആൾ കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്താ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത്, അവന് ഇഷ്ടംപോലെ പൈസ ഉണ്ട് അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഗിവിൻ്റെ കാര്യം പറയുന്നത്, എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് പൈസ ഒന്നുമില്ല. But I think that's a big fallacy, you know. So if you've read a book called The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and it's a very old book, 100 years plus, in that there's a page called giving, on giving. And he's got a page on everything, on parenthood, on child and marriage and life and all that stuff. In that page on giving, he says, if you cannot give when you have nothing, you will never give when you have everything.
Okay.
I'll repeat that. If you cannot give when you have nothing, you will never give when you have everything. Which means to say, giving is nothing to do with what you have. Giving is just a mentality. Giving is nothing to do with the positions. It's nothing to do with material things that you have. It's nothing to do with money. It's about your mentality. And our, scriptures or stories have told that, when Krishna came to Sudama's house, he had 2 grains of rice left, he shared that. Not because 2 grains would fill his stomach or the other person's stomach, but the idea was, can I give, can I share?
Yeah.
So this concept, when you explain to anybody in the room, first I see a smirk,
Yeah.
Because people don't understand the power. And it's the way, it's the natural progression. Adyam manasilavilla, adyam kaliyakum. So as you said, denial, then resistance, then acceptance, and then padakku become a promoter.
Yeah, that's good.
അപ്പോൾ അതാണ് ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ചാലഞ്ച് നമ്മൾ BNI കാണുന്നത്. ആദ്യം നമ്മൾ ഗിവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറയുമ്പോൾ ആൾക്കാർ കളിയാക്കും. Some of the sentences that you use, can you handle more business? അത് ആദ്യമായിട്ട് കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ ആൾക്കാർ പറയും വട്ടാണ്, ഇവർ ബിസിനസ് വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ എന്തുവേണം ചെയ്യും. പക്ഷേ ഒരു 5 4 2 വർഷം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും how important those words are, how important those sentences are. So that one concept I think is the biggest challenge that we have with BNI members every time.
Okay. Is there any industry myths that you want to probably address at this point of time? Like, people have a lot of false beliefs about, they assume a lot of things. Actually, that's the biggest danger out there. ആൾക്കാർക്ക് സത്യം ഒന്നും അറിയണ്ട, എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ അവിടെ നിങ്ങളൊക്കെ കേട്ടിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കും എന്നുള്ളത്. At this point of time, is there anything that you want to address?
ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു particular industry പറ്റിയാണോ?
Yeah, generally. Let's talk about entrepreneurs and them doing business per se. There's a lot of myths about them.
Oh yeah, I think because we are sitting in Kerala, I think I should tell you this. There's a difference between profit and profiteering, right?
Yeah.
Kadina English vaakakalana ennalu.
Yeah.
Profit is basically the difference between your cost of product and the revenue from the product. Simple.
Yeah.
Profiteering പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്?
Yeah.
നമ്മൾ ഒരു ആളെ താത്തിയിട്ടാണ് പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്. അതായത് when I am growing big, that person is going down. I am exploiting out of him. ചൂഷണം ചെയ്തിട്ട് പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കുമ്പോഴാണ് profiteering പറയുന്നത്. For some reason in Kerala, I think for so many years of conditioning, we have been thinking that businessmen are profiteers. And I think that's the biggest myth that we should be breaking, and still we're fighting to do that. I mean, how many parents or how many older generation people have you heard saying that naale ende moon businessman avadam?
Very rare, actually.
Very rare, no?
Yeah.
But why not?
Yeah.
Businessmen are the lifeline of the country. They provide employment, and the 40 to 50% of the businessmen are such that they will pay their rents first, they'll pay their salaries first, they'll pay their children's tuition fee first. പിന്നെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ബാക്കിയുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരു വസ്ത്രം ധരിക്കാനോ ഒരു സാധനം മേടിക്കുമായിരിക്കും. Which means you are helping everybody around, and then probably come to think of it if there is something left.
Absolutely.
And yet we don't glorify businesses. We have to create that mindset where we say it's very good to make profits.
Yeah.
Profits are good. Being greedy is good.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a book called Greed is Good. You should be greedy. Because when you become greedy, when you make a profit, your level of living, standard of living go up. You will be employing other people. They will be creating generations. They will have more employment opportunities. Their standard of living go up. You might hire a cook, you might hire a driver, you might hire maids, you might hire personal assistants, and which means you're also giving employment to them.
Yeah.
So profits being bad is the biggest myth, I think, that needs to be broken. Not only just Kerala for that matter, everywhere else. It is changing, but I think the way to do it is give more Padma Bhushans to industrialists rather than just literally artists or other people.
Yeah.
They are good. They're doing what they can.
Yeah.
But we need to start glorifying business owners. When
We
is
need
the
to
last
recognize-
time
we need to recognize,
Yes.
yeah.
When is the last time we got recognized? Only the thing we hear is ED's raid. Enforcement director raided this businessman, caught him for so much hawala. Did so much of scam or money laundering. That is one part. The world is not like that. We can't look at every businessman
put them
with
all in
those
a box.
tainted glasses. Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Absolutely.
I think that myth, I think BNI is taking a lot of effort to do that, and there should come a point when children say, my son should become a businessman.
റൈറ്റ് താങ്ക് യു. സോ ആൾക്കാർ നമ്മളെപ്പോഴും ഇങ്ങനെ ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ ഇരിക്കുന്ന അവസ്ഥയിൽ ഇന്ന് ഒരു ദിവസം എടുത്താൽ നമ്മൾ വികാസ് അഗർവാൾ നമ്മളൊന്ന് ഗൂഗിൾ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ നോക്കുമ്പോഴും കറണ്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും നടന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ലൈക്ക് യു ഡിഡ് സംതിങ് യെസ്റ്റർഡേ മോസ്റ്റ് ലൈക്ലി ദേ ഗോയിങ് ടു സീ ഓൾ ദ സക്സസ് ആസ്പെക്ട്സ് ഓഫ് ഇറ്റ് അല്ലേ. ഒരു പുതിയ ചാപ്റ്റർ ലോഞ്ചായി, അടുത്തൊരു വലിയ ഇവൻറ്റ് നടക്കാൻ പോകുന്നു, ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു പാർട്ട് എടുത്തിട്ട് നമ്മളൊരു ബിസിനസ്സിൻ്റെ ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് അവരെ അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ഇതിനൊക്കെ ഇത് മാറ്റി വെക്കുമ്പോൾ വികാസ് എന്നൊരു മനുഷ്യൻ, ഓക്കെ, അത് ഏത് പാട്ടാണ് അവർക്ക് തെറ്റിദ്ധരിച്ച് പോകുന്നത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മനസ്സിലാക്കാതെ പോകുന്നത് ഏത് പാട്ടായിരിക്കും? ബിക്കോസ് ഒരു ദിവസം രാവിലെ തുടങ്ങി രാത്രി വരെ ഇപ്പോൾ BNI പല സ്ഥലത്ത് പല സമയത്ത് പോയി ഒരു എക്സിക്യൂട്ടീവ് ഡയറക്ടർ എന്ന നിലയ്ക്ക് ആ റെക്കഗ്നിഷൻ, ആ റെസ്പെക്റ്റ്, ആ ഒരു എല്ലാ ആസ്പെക്ട്സും അവിടെ നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ആസ്പെക്റ്റ് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ ഞാൻ ഇതല്ല ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത്?
സത്യം പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇത് ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ കോൺസെപ്റ്റിൽ തന്നെയാണ് നമ്മൾ തിരിച്ചെത്തുന്നത്. അതായത് എവറി ഓവർനൈറ്റ് സക്സസ് ഇത് 20 year ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് പറയുമ്പോൾ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ല. ഞാനൊരു കൊച്ചിനെ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് വന്നു, ഒരു 5 വർഷം ചുരുക്കിയ സമയത്ത് തന്നെ വി ഹാവ് ബീൻ റീസണബിളി സക്സസ്ഫുൾ. ചില ആൾക്കാർക്ക് അത് കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല. പീപ്പിൾ സ്റ്റിൽ വിസ്പർ ബിഹൈൻഡ് ദ ബാക്സ്, അവനെന്താ കണ്ട കൊച്ചിന് വന്ന് ആൻഡ് ഡൂയിങ് മെനി തിങ്സ്, വെദർ ഇറ്റ്സ് നെയിം, ഫെയിം, മണി, എല്ലാ കാര്യത്തിനെ പറ്റി പറയും അവർ. ഈ ഇത്ര സമയം കൊണ്ട് ഇത്ര പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കി, ഇത്ര സമയം കൊണ്ട് ഇത്ര ഫെയിം ഉണ്ടാക്കി, ഇത്ര സമയം കൊണ്ട് ഇത്ര ഫോളോവേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി, അങ്ങനത്തെ കുറേ തെറ്റിദ്ധാരണ ഉണ്ടാവും. ബട്ട് യു ഷുഡ് അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് if I am able to speak the way I speak, if I am able to communicate the way I communicate, if I am able to mentor the way I am mentoring, it started from the 5th standard books that I was reading. It started from the 8th standard debate competition that I was going. It started from the prizes that I won, in dancing, in table tennis, in elocutions. We don't become a person overnight, right?
Yeah.
It's a formation. And you are the sum total of your experiences. If you were to ask, like my child also, my son asked me, "Ee maths പഠിച്ചിട്ട് എന്താ കാര്യം? ഈ algebra പഠിച്ചിട്ട് എന്താ കാര്യം? Why we need to learn history?" We don't need to, because everything in life is not about making money. You don't make money out of algebra. You
But
don't
now
make
the
money
audience
out
is
of
very
history.
curious. What did you tell him?
I told him the same thing which I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I told him that you are the sum total of your experiences. And these...
That's a big concept for him, right?
No, so that's what I'm saying. So that's why you don't need to understand the concept. Just do what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Not everything is made to make money. That is what I told him. So as of now, your duty as a child, as a school student, is to learn the things they're teaching you, because it's been put together by some people who understand stuff, by NCERT and all those syllabus guys. Don't think that everything that you learn is to make money.
Okay.
Because it's not. So in BNI also, when we teach people or when we come across many people and they see all these, say a press release or a LinkedIn post or a Facebook thing, they may be happy, they may not be happy, because they think the person that Vikas was 5 years, 10 years back with me is not the same person. He's now become a big person, he's now become famous, whatever said. I said everybody has the right to grow.
Yeah.
The only reason why somebody complains is because they've not been able to grow. If they grew with you, they'll be your biggest supporters. In whichever way. So again, we're not talking about money over here. We're talking about whatever particular aspect that you want to pick.
Okay.
And also it brings me back to one point which I heard from Anupam Kher last week. We were in a conference and he was speaking.
Yeah. The INC, National Conference.
Yeah, at the India National Conference. And
In
he
Jaipur.
mentioned a beautiful story. Yes, in Jaipur. He mentioned a beautiful story. He says, I've done multiple plays in my life. He was from the theatre background. I've done multiple plays in my life. I did a play on my failures. It was a monologue play. I was the only actor. And I created an entire play starting from the dialogue and narration, everything. And that play has made me more money than anything else. That play has had the highest viewership, has had the highest replays ever. Which brings us to the irony of life, that people are interested in your failures, not in your success. They are probably jealous about success, but happy about your failures.
Yeah.
And that's why we say, don't sell your sorrows to the world, because 80% of the people don't care and 20% will be happy that you have them.
Satyam. Yeah.
So that's the reality of life. So beyond all this, the good things that are happening, there are a lot of failures, a lot of the failures. And probably I think people will appreciate it if I also make a movie or a play out of it, like Anupam Kher did at one point.
You're getting an idea now.
Yeah, why not?
Right. So the question was directed to you, if it was to you, behind the facade, behind the person that we are talking right now. ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ BNI എന്ന് മാറ്റി വെച്ചാൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബിസിനസ് സക്സസ്ഫുൾ ബിസിനസ് ഒക്കെ മാറ്റി വെച്ചാൽ I think the audience would like to know, want to get into the mind of Vikas, so what kind of ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകളാണ് അനുഭവിക്കുന്നത് ഒരു മനുഷ്യന് ഒരു റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു രീതിയിൽ ലൈക്ക് സ്ട്രഗിൾസ് ലൈക്ക് സി യു ഹാവ് ടു I think time is the biggest currency here. ഇപ്പോൾ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ more than money. And literally a lot of people want you in a lot of places at the same time.
True.
അല്ലേ ഒരു ദിവസം എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ പറയും വികാസ് ജി ഇവിടെ ഒന്ന് വരാവോ വികാസ് ജി അവിടെ ഒന്ന് വരാവോ സോ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒന്ന് വരാവോ ആൻഡ് ദെൻ വെൻ യു ഗോ ദെയർ യു ആർ ലൈക്ക് തിങ്കിങ് അയ്യോ എനിക്ക് അടുത്തൊരു പരിപാടി ഉണ്ടല്ലോ ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വേണം അവിടെ പോകാൻ ഇത് സമയത്തിന് ഇത് നടക്കണം പക്ഷെ ഇതിനൊക്കെ പുറകിൽ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന ഒരു സ്ട്രഗിൾ എന്തായിരിക്കും ഇവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും
with folded hands I would say that I don't think this is a struggle. I think I'm blessed, I'm humbled that if I'm being invited to somewhere to say something, to speak something, just to be in their midst, I don't think it's a curse. I don't think it's a struggle. I think it's a blessing. And
it's an honor.
It's an honor. I look at it that way. Maybe I deserve it, maybe I don't know. But that's what I really think. The struggle is to keep myself healthy enough to do it, to keep myself fit enough to do it, to sleep enough to do it. Because that's the only struggle. So I know I want to do it, but how long and how efficiently is what I want to know. That's the struggle. So my day starts very early, about 6 usually, and then usually it winds up a little late. So sleep is a struggle sometimes. Behaving in a particular way is not a struggle, because generally I don't put on a facade. So I don't do things which would make anybody unhappy, and that's the only wish I have, that I don't disappoint anybody intentionally or unintentionally. So I don't have to put on a facade. Of course I have to behave and speak measured, but that is a given now. So it's not a new thing. Usually that's what my dad used to tell me. I've always been rich in language. So again, money is not the part. Rich in language, because once you do that, you will find a place in somebody else's heart. That admiration automatically comes in. When you like a person, it is because how he made you feel, how you made him feel.
Absolutely.
Not about anything else.
Yeah.
Very small things, and money is just incidental part. A lot of people will think somebody says that because he has money, and which is also true. Because just like Shah Rukh Khan says, it is very important to have money.
Yeah.
Because every other philosophy says, money is not important, comes when you say you have money. So which is true. But I think that is not a struggle for me to meet people, to be at different places. The other struggle is about being away from family for a long time. So that is a challenge. But I think, as they say, there is no work-life balance, it's only a harmony. So be where your feet are.
Okay.
So if you are in a podcast, that's where I am. I don't have to look my phone. If I'm at home, I should be at home.
Yeah.
If I'm with my children, I should be with my children. So
okay. Yeah.
Take your head to where your feet is.
Yeah.
Usually we don't do that. Your feet are some place, but your mind is thinking about something else.
Yes.
So
that's very powerful, അല്ലേ? ഈ ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ ആൾക്കാരുടെ അടുത്ത്
can you give at least 90%? You can't do 100%. Can you give at least 90% to to the person who's
Yeah.
sitting in front of you.
വീട്ടിൽ പോയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ പിള്ളേരുടെ അടുത്ത് സമയം
അത്
ചെലവാക്കാന്ന്
ആകെ
പറയുവാണെങ്കിൽ
പറ്റുവാണെങ്കിൽ,
ഫോൺ മാറ്റിവെയ്
If you
എന്നിട്ട്
can do
അവരുടെ
that,
അടുത്ത് ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്യുക,
yes,
അവർക്ക്
if you can do
മനസ്സിലാവണം.
that,
Yeah.
that's the biggest victory. And that, even 30 minutes of that undivided attention is bigger than 5 hours of edukadukku phone checking,
Yeah, yeah.
not working. And it's a challenge. It's still a challenge because so much of our life is now digitally controlled. So, where our heart and feet should be at the same place. That's the thing that we should be doing.
Okay, so moving on to the next, thought that would often come. What do you think successful entrepreneurs don't tell the upcoming entrepreneurs generally? In BNI, people are educated, they are mentored, empowered, supported. There's a lot of things that happen. So often out there in the world, we find a lot of very successful people. And I think the new upcoming entrepreneurs often feel like, hey, but I don't know this, or there's something missing in the whole equation. What is generally that? What is it about?
No, so there are two questions that you asked. You asked, what is a successful entrepreneur not telling the not so successful entrepreneur?
Yeah.
And the second statement that you made is, what is gap is missing? So the answer to the first question, I don't think there's anybody who wants to hide anybody. You know, the gap is the communication or the access.
Okay.
So if you were to go to Elon Musk, you found a way to meet him, and if you have the right questions, which is the second gap, you don't know what to ask.
Yeah.
You don't know how to up network. Let's say you get a chance to meet him tomorrow. What else are you going to tell him that I love SpaceX, I love the car, I love what you're doing, I love the boring company, I want to go to Mars? That's 5 minutes. Then what? Do you have enough questions? Are you curious enough to have a conversation for 15 minutes? Forget more than that. 15 minutes.
Can you hold his attention?
Forget that also.
Yeah.
Can you ask him any questions? Holding attention is again about you being the interesting part. But can you keep him interested?
Okay.
What will you talk to him? And this is a challenge which everybody faces, including me.
Okay.
So that is the gap, where the budding entrepreneurs or the not so successful entrepreneurs are not doing their homework to learn from the successful guys.
Okay.
Not given enough time to think, to analyze. Like in BNI also we say, let's say I'll connect you to one person who will give you 100 times your turnover today.
Okay.
Who would that be? And I'm not fond of a single person who has the answer.
Okay.
Because we don't know what we want. Whereas the successful guys know what they want.
Okay.
And I don't think there's any, I have not met everybody, but I'm saying with reasonable confidence that any successful person will pour his heart out to tell you what he knows. And that's why we have all these people writing books. I mean, they are putting their life history out there, and just not business owners. You read a book by Arnold, it's amazing. That book is 680 pages, but every word out there is inspiration. Every word is motivation.
You talk about
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The bodybuilding book?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, he's written a book.
Yeah, the pictures were in black and white and all that. But
Yes. No, some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
And imagine a guy from Australia, farmers,
Yes.
farmers, son, becoming to go and marry the
Kennedy.
daughters.
Marry a Kennedy,
that's
become a governor. Yeah.
Governor. Richest person who is charged billions in movies. I mean, that's inspiration.
Heavy accented
and
Austrian.
And he has narrated every failure of his life also in that book to a measured extent.
Yeah.
But how many of us are willing to go and read that and to understand and to imbibe?
Yeah.
So, successful people will always share. They know the power of giving. They know the power of sharing. They know the power of mentoring. They want to pour. Recently, I was reading a book by Shyam Srinivasan, who was a Federal Bank chairman. And it's amazing. The life stories, it's just 20 or 25 anecdotes of his life. Just normal reading. You can start with 15th page, you can start with the 20th chapter, it doesn't matter. But he has poured his entire life out there. What he learned, what mistakes he made. But we just don't know. Because again, the ego comes in. I know. He was a chairman of a company. I am chairman of my company.
So do you say to people who don't have a reading habit, how do we make them? Because we can't impose it.
No, we don't have to. Today we are lucky.
Yeah.
When we were reading, there was no other medium.
Yeah.
Today, a podcast is a medium. You can listen, you can see.
Okay.
Movies are a medium. There are biopics made.
So I think the key word is listen, like കേൾക്കുക എന്നിട്ട്
And
മനസ്സിലാക്കുക.
no, that is still one first part. So listening, manslaka, and then implementing.
Okay. So we have to get to implementing.
അതാണ് ഒരു വ്യത്യാസം.
All right.
So you know many stuff, many things. You are inspired. Can we take action?
Right. Okay.
And you can choose your medium. You can have a personal interview. I'm sure with a cold call, you will get cold email also will be replied today.
Okay.
You just need to find that access. Where can I get the email address from?
Correct.
And then I think path is sorted.
So what would you say would be a hard truth of being a businessman today? Like a lot of people tend to think it's all rosy, and because they ignore the failures quickly, and they only observe the success in their eyes.
True.
Can be the way that person carries himself, the purchases he made, the decisions he made. പക്ഷേ ഇതിൻ്റെയൊക്കെ പുറയിൽ ഒരു real hard truth എന്തായിരിക്കും for an upcoming entrepreneur, without sounding in the risk of saying, hey, you know what, it's really messed up, it's all a facade and all those things. But there are some aspects that we must tell the next gen, say, hey, you will have to overcome these battles.
I can't name one when you ask me that question, the hard truth about being an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is a continuous journey, right? You can have retirement in a job. You can have fixed hours in a job, depending on the job, 9 to 5, 10 to 8, whatever it is. You will have paid leaves in a job. Entrepreneurship is just the opposite, right? I mean, if your phone rings at 12 in the night, you will have to answer it.
Correct.
If your staff don't turn up, or 5 of them or 10 of them don't turn up next morning, you will have to find some substitute or prepared for it.
Yeah.
If you
The show must go on.
show must go on. If there is no profits, you still have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So the hard part of being entrepreneurship is show up every day. And that's not easy. It's a challenge. Things will go wrong, not once, many times.
Yeah.
The only advice is to be prepared for those rainy days. How we can be prepared ourselves early in life. Maybe with an extra person to account for that sudden leave or sudden retirement. Maybe have enough money to pay for those sudden profit dips. Maybe have a backup plan if the sudden industry itself goes down.
Correct.
So we can only prepare, but we can never be sure. We can never be certain.
Okay.
And the hard truth about that is that because it's very lonely at the top. It's very lonely at the top. As I mentioned earlier, when you tell your problems to the world, 80% don't care and 20% will love it that you have them. So then you are left with very little choice.
True.
Who do you go to problems with? You find a mentor. If you find one good, you talk to your wife or spouse, whichever case be, and if they can give you advice, very good. But these are the probably 2 or 3 only options that you have. Because if you going to turn to Google or ChatGPT for advice, God save you. Because it will decide on how you ask them. Can I commit suicide? He'll tell you yes, you can. These are the 3 ways. Can I show you? 3 options. But jokes aside, that's the hard
really
part.
Unfortunate.
You have to be consistent enough to do it, and in all seasons.
Yeah. True. Hey, what do you think is the most dangerous thing being told, or entrepreneurs are told or communicated right now? Because a lot of people are being influenced. Even the successful ones constantly is looking for some kind of stimulation or inspiration, and there is a certain narrative out there when we look out in these social mediums or when we hear what's happening out there. People are creating something out there.
Okay.
So what is that real dangerous thing that an entrepreneur should be mindful about?
Since you mentioned social media, and with a lot of business owners of different net worths now being projected as larger than life images on social media, I think businesses, some of them, not all of them, are now building for fame. Businesses, some of them again, are building for valuations. Businesses are now building for exits. I mean, it's just like you give birth to a child, and then after 5 years you want to give it to a foster home. I would narrate that analogy. I mean, you created something, but with the intention of disposing it after some time. It might be a very crude analogy, but I'm saying once you do that, it becomes a vicious loop. Because somehow down the line, you are probably building processes which is necessary, but your intention is also, to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Which means that you are doing something for the temporary moment. Maybe you see a big shiny object which is in demand today, and you build for it because you want to get out of it. You're not doing it for a long term.
Okay.
So the distraction part, or the fame part, or the exit part is something which I think is little scary, little upsetting. Nothing wrong with it. There are so many businesses which are doing very well on valuation, and not all of them have the misintentions also. I've read a book called Unseen, I think, by Zomato's founder, Deepinder Goyal.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant book.
Yeah.
And I always used to be a critic. I used to think, no, these businesses are stupid. All they're making so much loss, and then you're doing IPOs, billions of dollars. Are the investors mad? All that kind of questions. But when you read it, you understand that he's doing it with heart. And unfortunately or fortunately, that business can only be built that way.
Yeah.
You have a higher cost of acquisition.
Yeah.
CAC, as they call it, the customer acquisition cost.
Yeah.
And that's why you need the external money.
Yeah.
And the person who has that crores and crores of money is not a fool when he invests, so he also knows the game.
Yeah.
And so sometimes these are very well read intentions, even though there will be some breakouts, there will be some stories about people complaining that I was treated badly or what, all that happens.
Yes, absolutely.
But if you're doing it just for that sake, I think that's a little red flag.
Okay. Absolutely.
But then, as I narrate, this is a classic story which I thought was not the case, but it turned out to be that way.
Yeah.
So there are good people also.
Yeah. So just continuing with that, there is this concept of hustling, or there's a hustle culture out there where people are, you can ignore yourself, your surroundings, everything, and you just go out and do everything. There is some truth to it, but which part of it is really dangerous?
When you start thinking that all activity is productivity. So the hustle culture is probably making people believe that if you are engaged from morning 6 to evening 10, and 2 hours you're doing this, 5 hours you're doing that, 2 hours you're doing that, and I'm hustling. But if all those 4 or 5 activities are unrelated, they don't make you grow, they don't make you excel or make you a better person over a period of time. I think it's just activity.
Could you repeat that again, the last line?
I said, if it does not make you grow, if it doesn't make you excel, if it doesn't make you a better person than you are a particular time before, it's just activity.
Yeah, it's just an activity.
Yeah, so people confuse this, hustling as they call it, as an activity, which means every activity is hustling. But is it finally contributing to you?
Yeah.
Money, yes, again, one side, but is it contributing to you?
Bringing value to you in some form? Yeah.
Growing you.
Yeah.
I mean, one should always look at, becoming a better person, whichever ways. Again, communication wise, person wise, thought process wise, helping wise, mentoring, money, everything.
Okay.
So if all those hustling adds up to it, it's fine. I might be hustling while doing a video editing course, learning Canva, because I want to be a film director, which is okay.
Okay.
But if I'm doing all this while I want to, sell onions, it's stupid.
Okay.
So I think that hustle culture is somewhere, I think, getting richer. But having said that, I think today's generation is also very smart. They are now working towards the gig economy, as they call it. A lot of people are not interested in inheriting wealth also. So many houses, so many businesses are being sold to private equity companies because the new generation doesn't want it. They don't want the free wealth. It's okay. They know what they want from life. They're very stuck. And as Elon says in many of his interviews, there might be a time where working will become optional.
Okay.
So you will work for something that gives you happiness. Because machines and technology will do most of the work for you.
Correct.
You will only be required to do if you. And I think imagination will be the only driver, or of maybe economy 10 years later.
Wow. And with that, I wanted to ask the final question for today. What is a modern business myth that you felt like, look, this is what I used to hear and overcome, and I had to, at one point, But now, at this stage of my life, I'm hearing things I've never heard before, and it shouldn't be the case. And you would like to correct the narrative.
Nothing as such, I don't think there's any new myths that have come about. It's standard stuff. The acceptance factor has changed. Earlier, if a thing which brought about disruption came in, every businessman would have jumped the gun and said, yeah, it's not good for me. Like say the invent of technology, invent of computers, industrialization, right from the industrial age. But I think today's businessman is well aware, is ready to jump, is ready to pivot. If he avoids that hustling game and if he avoids that valuation game, I think he should be in a safe space.
Okay.
But I'll boil it down to one sentiment because today also learning is very important.
Okay.
That thing will never change. So it's not a myth, but I'm saying this is a continuity.
Okay.
That learning mentality today also in day of AI and all has to continue.
Okay. Right. And with that, if you're about to close, what would be what message would you like to give the entrepreneurs of Trivandrum as they, what is that you would like to tell them or share with them?
I think life's too simple. Don't complicate it. Don't take it too seriously. And don't take yourself too seriously because nobody else does.
Okay.
So, many times because they think that, I am saying certain things, BNI is asking you to do some things, the president of your chapter asks you to do some things, and then they put their brain to think, why should I do it? How should I do it? When should I do it? Or should I do it? I mean, just go with the flow. And if you don't like it, we are still friends, right? We don't have to become enemies.
Okay.
The president does not have to become the black sheep.
Okay.
So I think life's too simple. We just overcomplicate it. And if that message, and every businessman has the right to evaluate his options. So if you think a particular way works for you, why not? Go ahead and do it. I'm nobody to judge you.
Okay.
If you think horses can fly, believe it.
Okay.
Why should I be the person to
change that?
disrupt your idea of thought process? If that makes you happy, why not?
Very true.
So I think business owners should become a little more chill, a little more relaxed. And we have proven that this works. We would be happy to have you on board. If not, it's okay.
Thank you, Vikas. You've been a great guest, an inspiration, and you've made a huge impact to Trivandrum, but time will tell how far and this has gone. So this will, we are in the capital of Malayalis in Tirunelveli in Kerala, and in a matter of time, this is going to be known around the world.
Yeah. Our only goal today is how we can impact the ecosystem, how we can impact the society, not just the business owners, because stay tuned, we have got some amazing announcements scheduled to be coming up in July during our 6th annual Members Day, where we are going to see how every citizen of Trivandrum can be touched in some way, in a small way. We cannot, of course, make a big impact, we have limitations, but how we can touch small lives here and there, because that is when the true success of a leader or a group or a community will be felt.
Right. Can't wait to be a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vikas.
Thank you, Ronnie, for asking me the right questions.
All right. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.